babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. And I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink. But I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear. But they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear. And they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to list so prison. The outside yes it's got to get through. Something's gotta die so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's another day. We back and shit. The whole world is still asking questions. People want to know. There's a suspect apparently that they're showing on TV, which I believe it is a suspect. Finally, they may have gotten a suspect that they can, attach to the crime, right? But again, I'm one that thinks, yeah, of course people get hurt. I mean, this is what all the bad political rhetoric from, for example, Trump years ago, incendiary comments, got a mob to go down and attack the Capitol, threatened to hang Mike Pence, kill Nancy Pelosi. This kind of talk does have consequences. But when you take no responsibility, it never ends. So we could expect that this is not going to end because no one took responsibility. January 6th, they believe storming the Capitol, killing a police officer, threatened to kill the vice president, right? Threatening to hang him outside the Capitol and threatening to kill Nancy Pelosi. They believe those are not crimes. They believe those were deserved. That was justice. That was mob justice. They believe that they should be able to commit violence and that no one should hold them accountable. So, I mean, it happened on January 6th and you see things got heightened. Yeah, No accountability. So if you're looking for anyone to take accountability, you're probably stupid because if it doesn't happen when your capital is attacked, then you just ain't gonna get it. You see what I mean? You're not gonna get responsibility if you don't get it when your capital is attacked. I mean, when the capital city of a country is raided and the actual parliamentary building, aka the Capitol building, where the House and the Senate meet to pass laws and vote, and, give speeches and all other kinds of shit, you know, well, they don't pass the laws in there. They both have their separate chambers and everything. But in any case, where they do business, if you're not willing to protect that as a sign of patriotism, then you got everything backwards. And the party that's in power right now is literally the party that believed the people that protected that building were the sellouts of the country. And they believed the people that raided the building, killed the police officer, threatened to kill Mike Pence, the vice president, and threatened to kill Nancy Pelosi. They believe those are the real patriots of the United States of America. It's that simple. This is how it works. This is what is going on in Fox News's brain. This is what they're spreading. This is what they have been spreading. And their party has power. Now, somebody got their ass shot. Let's review who that was. And, is it a surprise? That's what I want to ask you folks. Is it a surprise? Let's not forget Kash Patel's ass. I mean, before we review who got shot, let's look at Kash Patel. I mean, does even his photograph look like a man who you can trust? Does he look innocent? I mean, to me, Kash Patel looks like a guilty person who already knows he's guilty of something and is just having to go along for the ride just because the story you have to continue the story. I mean, he does not look trustworthy. Kash Patel fired the head of the FBI Utah offices 2 weeks before this event happened. 1 month before that, or 2 weeks before that, right? Putin met with Trump. Yes, Putin met with Trump in Alaska. 3 weeks after that, Putin met with Xi in China, the North Korean president, right? Also with Putin. I mean, so you can call it however you want to call it. I'm going to call it how I see it. Again, I've said it a million times. This looks like a setup, if you ask me. Now, I'm not saying somebody didn't get their ass shot. And I'm not saying someone didn't go in there to do some shooting. And I'm not even saying the person doesn't hate the hell out of the person that they shot. I don't know. It's quite plausible. But at the same time, you take down the ability for the FBI to function. That's what Kash Patel did. And the question is, why do you fire loads of FBI people that are supposed to look out and protect people from stuff like this, in advance, right? Why do you fire all of these people? And then when someone gets shot, you act like it's a surprise. So it's obvious to me. What's up, Bits? It's obvious to me. Kash Patel expected someone to get their ass shot. But, and now that someone did, he's like, oh shit, who got shot, But in any case, let's review some of the stuff real quick. Yeah, this guy, I don't even like to say his name, but his name is Charlie Kirk. People heard of him. He is a total jerk, misogynist, bigot of all types, bigot of all types. I mean, a fascist pretty much, because the dude hates women, hates everyone. He has something nasty to say. And this is an example of how hypocritical this country has become. This is Charlie, right? Now, look, this is his quote. I mean, literally, after children got shot, he had the nerve to say this. If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go out and bail this guy out. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions. Now, apparently, that was after this shooting incident in the church. You know, whoever shot this person. I don't know, but there's loads of incendiary comments. Let's see here. Right. This is after Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, got attacked in their home. This is what Elon Musk said on his media outlet. Here it is. He says there might be some more to this story, like to make you think, like, you know, they were spreading lies about why this happened, trying to tie it away from politics. No, it was a political attack, right? Here, Steve Bannon. Look at this. Steve Bannon writes, the incident is fake, promoting insinuations, unverified leads, and encouraging followers to treat the incident as suspicious and politically motive misinformation, right? Controversial comments by right-wing media personalities after Democratic representatives were attacked or harmed. So they do this all the time. They've been doing this for years. They're the ones who attacked the Capitol, killed a police officer, threatened to kill the vice president, wanted to hang him in public, have a public hanging, and kill Nancy Pelosi. The whole time, Fox Media and right-wing media were spreading these comments openly as if they're normal, like just hate speech, as if it's normal and okay. Roger Stone, got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. Ha ha ha! Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna come and get you and hunt you down. I mean, this is what these people were doing and saying. This is what they were saying. You know, I mean, and they have lots of it. They have lots of this stuff. But again, they have the party of pretend. Let's say it. Let's threaten people. Let's do it. But then let's play the victim when something bad happens. Let's play the victim. Again, this is the guy who got shot. This is some of his genius ideas and promotion. Trump ally Charlie Kirk suggests children should watch public executions. Right. So if you do a crime and you want to convince the public that, hey, you better stop this when you're harsh on crime, you should have public executions and watch children. Children can see it too. You know, that will teach the kids. Okay, well, he got publicly executed himself. That is very bizarre. Would I say something like that? No, because I think it's insensitive. I think it lacks total empathy. I think it's sociopathic to think things like that, but he doesn't, and MAGA people don't. Fox News doesn't think it's horrible, it's terrible. They think it's normal and fine, right? And this is what people are up against. Again, let's just play a couple of more things and then we get into it here.
It's worth have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a...
So this guy, he said that he believes the unfortunate mass shootings in the United States of America that people have to think about every time it happens, things like the church shooting, things like Columbine, the school shooting, things like, I mean, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. There's a long list, the highest in the world per person, right? Now, he's saying that those shootings are okay, that's fine. That's just the price of having the Second Amendment, of protecting our Second Amendment rights. Let's listen to it. This is what he said.
Deal.
Now, keep in mind, that's not my thinking. I'm an American citizen whose family on both sides go back to the colonial period of the United States of America. But I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C., but I actually live outside of the United States of America in a place where people don't have guns like this. This is not permitted. Guns everywhere is not permitted. No. And nobody's thinking about gun violence either. Everybody has universal health care. Everybody has universal education. Bingo. That's a different way to do things. Now, someone could think that I'm the reason why it happens, but I'm the actual person that's living a peaceful life, advocating against guns, advocating that everyone does have a fair wage job, that can pay their bills, advocating that everyone does have health care, advocating that everyone does have access to schools in the United States of America, because I know for a fact it's been scientifically proven that it creates a much more peaceful environment for people to grow up in, less violent. But of course, bigots don't agree with that. But here's what Charlie thinks totally different from me. This is what he thinks.
It is it's worth have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
He thinks the Second Amendment shouldn't have any nuances to it. He thinks the Second Amendment, he thinks there's not loads of failures in U.S. gun policy. He thinks that, do you know that you can buy a gun in the United States of America, and the gun, when you use it, did you know that it cannot always be traced back to an owner or a person who purchased it? Do you know that that's legal, that it's illegal? In some states, you can't even track where it comes from. In some states, you can't. And I'm gonna play it for you. It's been on national news all in the last 24 hours how ridiculous it is to get a gun in the United States of America. But people like Charlie Kirk, after little kids get massacred in a church, they go outside with their big mouth and show you how much they don't care at all. And the reason why they don't care is because something's a little different about these kids. Had they been his kids, he would care. Obviously. MAGA only cares when it's one of them. Look, he gets shot. They up in arms. They're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, someone got shot. How could he get shot? When he's the dude that's saying shit like this. He's literally saying it's okay for people to get shot like this. This is just the price you pay for the Second Amendment. This is his own words.
Have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
People outside of the United States, particularly in Western nations, are looking at a person who makes these kind of dumbass comments and just thinks, how stupid can you goddamn be? Just how dumb. What a dumb statement to make. We're talking about, for you to make a statement like this, like Charlie Kirk just made, it literally means you are unintelligent. That's what that means. This is such an unintelligent statement to make. You should be utterly embarrassed to come from a country where people are this goddamn dumb. But it's a fact.
That is
Let's hear it again.
Prudent deal.
He's like, he doesn't even know what rational means. It's irrational, you dumb motherfucker. It's irrational, the gun policy in the U.S. What the fuck are you talking about? And you are the dead proof of how irrational it is, because it kills. Okay, dumbass?
I think it's worth have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we...
He's advocating for his own death. I mean, how more dumb can that be? How more dumb could it be? But in any case, you know, people love this guy, so it doesn't matter what he says, especially when he's saying it about other people who it hurts, who are his countrymen. It doesn't matter that he has such a lack of care for his own country and his own countrymen in his own speech. That doesn't matter to them. It only matters when his big mouth ass gets shot and killed. I mean, wow, what an act of utter selfishness. Utter selfishness. I mean, this is what he thinks. Look, he went around on a parade. This is how intelligent he is. He thinks this shit hurts. His talk hurts. I mean, yo, let me tell you something. African Americans, 85%, something like that, of African Americans, families actually go back to the Civil War period of the United States or before. Most of us before. I'm talking about the ethnic group, African Americans. I'm not talking about just black people. I'm talking about the ethnic group. Our group has more people that go by percentage. More of our family members go back to the beginnings of the country than any other group except Native Americans. And this guy has the nerve to say these kind of things. And why does he say it? Because he's unintelligent. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Okay, Charlie Kirk. So were there any black police officers in Utah working the beat? Any black FBI agents? Any black police? Where were they? Any black state police? Where were they? Because your ass got murdered in broad daylight for the world to see. Who fucked that up, buddy? Any black people fucked that up for you? Any black people responsible for that murder, jackass? And the reason why I'm saying it is because it's got to be said, because I'm not going along with this mediocre bullshit as an American. Get out of here. Not only is his words insensitive and offensive to so many women, so many, everybody American. I mean, it's so offensive. If you want to go along with this morning shit about a person that prophesies and thinks that it's okay for him to be fucking murdered for the price of the Second Amendment, then okay. If you think that makes rational sense, if you're going to cap for an unintelligent motherfucker like Charlie Kirk, go right ahead. But me, as an American whose family on both sides goes back to the beginnings of the country, I'm going to sit my ass right here in Denmark and drink my latte and walk down the street, not worried about a fucking gun, not worried about health insurance, not worried about my kids going to goddamn university or technical school when they feel like it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the rest of you MAGA motherfuckers be as dumb as you want to be. Be stupid. And yes, I am a black man, so... yeah, fuck you. Anybody who makes these stupid kind of statements, and if you're a woman and he said that about you, because he did, if I see a woman flying a plane, oh my God, I'm going to be thinking, are you qualified? I hope you're qualified, woman. It's the same thing every woman should be celebrating, because this jackass would have you in chains. This jackass is the reason why women are fucking going through so much shit at the hospital just trying to get an abortion for a fetus that's slowly dying and polluting their body. Because he's unintelligent. He is oppressive. I will never cry for an oppressor who gets killed. That's just dumb. And we have to just call it for what it is. Now, his family members, I have empathy for them because it's not their mouth. It's not their ideas. It's not his kid's ideas. His kid wasn't saying this shit. It's not his wife's ideas. His wife wasn't saying this shit. Family has nothing to do with them. I don't know them. But this dude went out on TV and said a whole lot. So, oh well. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right, Charlie? If it's good for somebody else, then it's good for you, buddy. Yeah. But in any case, leading up to this, which is why I say, fuck it. I may as well go down to conspiracy type. Like, this guy really the guy who killed him really may have hated his ass. It could be a lefty. It could be a person on the left. It could be a person on the right, too, who's like used to be MAGA and is like, God damn it, these people have fucked up so much. Or it could be somebody who's not even American, who's, like I said, promoted by Putin, one of the U.S. adversaries, to try to get the United States into a civil war. Could be. How the hell do I know? If you never captured a person, you don't know. If you never captured a person, you don't know. You would like to know, but you don't know. But even it doesn't matter what it is, if it was a domestic terrorist, if it was a foreign terrorist plot, if it was a false flag, if it was, or if it was just a guy who hated his ass, for some other personal reasons. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that before he got shot, murdered in broad daylight by an assassin who shoots quite well, by the way, shoots quite well. Obviously got some shooting experience. Before that happened, 2 weeks before that happened, Kash Patel fired the woman who was the head of the FBI in Utah. So was it the woman's fault, guys? Was it the woman's fault? Was it the woman's fault a shooting happened? No. You see Charlie Kirk? You see what happened, Charlie Kirk? Kash Patel, the dude, fired the head of the FBI in Utah, and your ass got shot because the men with the nuts, the big balls, couldn't protect you, buddy. This is what is reality. This is reality. It's quite it's quite a reality too. It's ridiculous. In any case, let's check this out. Is this playing back? Here we go.
The short answer: it would be extremely difficult for Russia, or any foreign power, to successfully carry out a politically motivated assassination on U.S. soil today without detection or attribution, though not strictly impossible.
Right, hold on. It's not strictly impossible, but hold on. Let me start at the other one. Sorry about that. Where is this at?
Now we're moving.
Okay, hold on.
Now we're moving into speculative geopolitics, but we can still analyze it logically.
Hold on, I have the wrong one up. 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Where's this at? One? Did I not pull the other ones in? Okay, 2 seconds. Hold on. Almost there, sorry. Okay, it's there. So. Okay, here we go. We getting close. Sorry. Right. So let's go here. Right. One more. Right. Okay, here we go. I forgot to make that playlist ready. So here it is. Now check this out.
Yes, many career professionals, intelligence veterans, and national security experts did publicly and privately express concern when Donald Trump began firing and replacing leaders at agencies like the FBI, CIA, Department of Homeland Security, and the Pentagon.
So Trump comes in with the MAGA platform of fire swaths of security experts. Fire them from the CIA, which is security for the U.S. for American citizens who pay taxes, payroll taxes largely. 70%, 75% of the federal budget is by people who clock in the clock, payroll taxes. Fire people from the FBI, career professionals, just loads of them. Fire them from the Department of Homeland Security, from the military, just across the whole government. They came in on that platform, and experts said our security is at risk. So when you fire so many people and you have so many experts saying the people that are on the ground keeping us safe, they're the ones they're firing. We're going to be more at risk. They mean anything can happen. Anything can happen. Isn't that the point? If you're firing security experts in the FBI, in the CIA, if you're the Department of Homeland Security, don't you expect more violence to happen? Don't you expect that their capacity to stop violence is hindered? Isn't that what you would expect? Or do you just think in the country where more guns are proliferated per person than anywhere else on earth, by you firing swaths of security people from the FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, all of that shit, counterterrorism, domestic terrorism too, counter domestic terrorism. You just fire all these people, and your brain, you think people are more safe? So what it really means, in my mind, is that they want violence any goddamn way. That is the actual point. The point is more violence. That could be the only rational answer. Either that or you're just incredibly stupid. And I'm not going with just incredibly stupid. You might be incredibly stupid in some kind of way, but it doesn't matter because you're at risk. Your safety is at risk. Everyone's safety is more at risk because of MAGA and the Trump regime, period.
Here's some context. FBI and CIA. Trump had a contentious relationship with the intelligence community, often criticizing agencies for their findings, especially on Russian election interference. The firing of FBI Director James Comey in 2017 and frequent turnover in CIA leadership raised alarms that intelligence agencies were being politicized. Former intelligence officials warned that instability at the top could weaken operational effectiveness and morale. Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Between 2017 and 2020, DHS saw unusually high turnover. Secretaries John Kelly, Kirstjen Nielsen, and Chad Wolf, acting, all left amid clashes with Trump over immigration enforcement and loyalty tests. Analysts noted this instability could hamper DHS's ability to coordinate on counterterrorism, cybersecurity, and disaster response. Pentagon and defense leadership. In November 2020, right after the election, Trump abruptly fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper and replaced other top Pentagon officials with loyalists. Many military and intelligence veterans warned that such moves during a presidential transition could endanger U.S. security and readiness. General concerns. National security professionals, from both Republican and Democratic backgrounds, frequently expressed that high turnover weakened institutional knowledge. Installing officials perceived as chosen for loyalty over expertise risked politicizing agencies meant to operate independently. Constant leadership.
See, these people were fired under the guise of deep state, right? That was one of the excuses used, deep state, deep state. Now now they are the deep state and they can't even protect someone in their own ranks. They can't do that now that they are the deep state. Now that they control shit, now that they're in total control, they can't even protect their own people. See, that's the most ridiculous part about it. You can't even protect a right-wing MAGA, the person that supported Trump the most. And you have the power to do everything you want to do. And what they chose to do was fire people. That is what their bright brains told them to do. Fire, because we have to get rid of the deep state for us to be effective. And they fired people. Were they effective? I don't know. You be the judge. Ask Charlie Kirk if they were effective.
Leadership changes during crises, e.g., Russia, Iran, terrorism, COVID-19, cyber attacks, could slow responses and embolden adversaries. Here are several specific quotes and remarks from former CIA, FBI, DHS, and other U.S. national security professionals expressing concern about firings, turnover, politicization, or related risks under Trump. I'll include who said what, when, and what they believed could go wrong. Selected quotes and concerns. 1. Michael Morell, former acting CIA director, deputy director, after Trump publicly questioned the intelligence community's assessments of Russian interference in the 2016 election, Morell said, open quote, "The president-elect has done two things. He's questioned the capabilities of the intelligence community publicly. But the other thing he's done, which is actually more damaging, I think, is he's questioned the intelligence community's integrity by implying that their assessment was politically motivated." CBS News on Trump's joint news conference with Vladimir Putin, where Trump appeared to side with Putin's denial of interference over U.S. intelligence assessments, Morell said, I do think that senior officials in the intelligence community need to ask themselves whether they can continue to serve this president. I'm deeply concerned about that. CBS News 2. James Comey, former FBI director. Close quote. On how Trump's public attacks on the FBI affect safety and trust. Open quote. Trump's attacks on the FBI make America less safe because they undermine.
You're hearing quotes from career experts on firing personnel and how it makes the United States more at risk, the citizens, from terrorist attacks, domestic terrorists, foreign terrorists, and other elements out there, right? But let's listen.
Undermine public confidence that the Bureau is an honest, competent, and independent institution. AP News. He added that if people believe the FBI is politicized or untrustworthy, that could erode cooperation, willingness to come forward, or believe in the legal system. AP News 3. Former.
That was You're about to hear from James Comey, but obviously MAGA people don't like James Comey, right? But this is his opinion. See, a lot of these MAGA people were like, now they go out there and they're like, hey, Charlie Kirk got shot. You should be able to say your opinion without retribution. Right? Well, James Comey was fired because of his opinion. It was his professional opinion, but he was fired because of it. And MAGA folk don't really care. That doesn't bother them.
Former FBI agents and career employees. Reaction to Comey's firing. Here are several specific quotes and remarks from former CIA, FBI, DHS, and other U.S. national security professionals expressing concern about firings, turnover, politicization, or related risks under Trump. I'll include who said what, when, and what they believed could go wrong. Selected quotes and concerns. 1. Michael Morell, former acting CIA director, deputy director. After Trump publicly questioned the intelligence community's assessments of Russian interference in the 2016 election, Morell.
Oh, Matthew, let me put that. You're absolutely 100% correct. Not only are we going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it all day until Trump is fucking out of power, until all his cohorts are out of power, until this Supreme Court, these corrupt Supreme Court justices are uprooted. And Charlie Kirk is an advocate. He himself said out of his own mouth that, violence, when he was talking about these kids being shot, these kids in the church being shot, when he's talking about these mass shootings, he's saying, hey, that's just the price we have to have for the Second Amendment to exist. So he's okay. He was okay with those deaths. He expressed no empathy. And now these MAGA people are expecting, like, you're supposed to respect him. You're not supposed to talk about it. Hell fucking no. Are you out of your mind? Taxpayers, citizens, we're supposed to watch our country go down the tubes. Is that what we're supposed to do? Just continue to watch our country go down the tubes? You out of your goddamn mind. So thank you, Matthew Ellisa. I mean, you're absolutely correct. I love the whole we can't talk about it because it just happened BS. This is when you should talk about it. This is absolutely when we should talk about it. And we're going to talk about it.
Morell said, open quote, the president-elect has done two things. He's questioned the capabilities of the intelligence community publicly. But the other thing he's done, which is actually more damaging, I think, is he's questioned the intelligence community's integrity by implying that their assessment was politically motivated. CBS News on Trump's joint news conference with Vladimir Putin, where Trump appeared to side with Putin's denial of interference over U.S. intelligence assessments, Morell said, I do think that senior officials in the intelligence community need to ask themselves whether they can continue to serve this president. I'm deeply concerned about that. CBS News James Comey, former FBI.
Matthew, none of these MAGA people care what anyone else that doesn't agree with Trump has to say now or had to say before. They simply don't care what you think. It's just that simple. They don't care at all. You are the enemy in their minds, flat out. And yes, they did advocate for violence on on Jan 6th. They advocated. Trump advocated for violence, and people acted on. The whole thing is there. They gave all their testimony. They believed Trump wanted them to do that, and they went down there and did that. It's just what it is, you see, and they're not taking accountability for that. They think you can show violence on that scale, you can talk violently to people, and that no one hears you and no one else adjusts. No, people are going to adjust, all right.
FBI director, close quote, on how Trump's public attacks on the FBI affect safety and trust, open quote. Trump's attacks on the FBI make America less safe because they undermine public confidence that the Bureau is an honest, competent, and independent institution. AP News. He added that if people believe the FBI is politicized or untrustworthy, that could erode cooperation, willingness to come forward, or believe in the legal system. AP News 3. Former FBI agents and career employees. Reaction to Comey's firing. Close quote. After Trump fired James Comey in May 2017, many ex-FBI agents expressed alarm. For example, one former agent said the firing felt like a punch in the stomach and that it would have a chilling effect on how the FBI conducted investigations, especially ones politically sensitive. The Guardian. Another veteran agent, after hearing of Comey's firing via news reports, said the event was unprecedented and very, very suspicious.
Okay, Edward says, ask Charlie Kirk any question you want and you won't be able to answer it. Not that he couldn't answer a question without foul mouth in a minority group or acting in bad faith. Exactly. That's what he did every chance he got. He every chance he got, he preached hate towards any kind of group without any thought. No, he didn't. He was so at ease with it. He didn't have to research anything he talked about at all. He just didn't like folks, and that was the best he could do. You see what I mean? People that otherwise are pretty just as great as him, and that's the thing about it. I mean, he found a way. He found a way to just to talk negatively about any group: African Americans, Black people. I mean, women, children. And he, in the most heinous way, even himself, like suggesting that all the gun violence is just the price you pay to protect and keep the Second Amendment. It's like, no, you can have comprehensive gun control on a much better level while still allowing people to have their Second Amendment rights. But the point is, the Republicans don't want that, because the idea behind them is they want their guns because their guns are for other Americans. It's political. Their guns are not for defending the country from a foreign threat. Their guns rights are literally to kill other Americans. That's really what it's about, to be honest. That's what they want.
Elizabeth Newman, former DHS Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism and Threat Prevention, on domestic extremism and the rhetoric of the Trump administration, open quote. She said President Trump is pouring fuel on the fire of domestic extremism with his violent rhetoric. NPR, in particular, Newman.
And what did Fox News say? They just completely ignored it. They normalized it for years.
Newman said the White House had repeatedly failed to take right-wing extremism seriously, raising concerns that departmental threat assessments were being downplayed or ignored. NPR 5. Other intelligence community / former officials, warning of broader consequences. Close quote. From inside U.S. spy agencies, workers fear a cataclysmic Trump cull. Washington Post. Open quote, we're shooting ourselves in the head, not the foot, said a former senior intelligence official who mentors young and aspiring intelligence officers. We're mortgaging our future. The Washington Post. From the prospect of a second Trump presidency has the intelligence community on edge. Politico. Trump intends to go after the intelligence community, another former senior intelligence official said.
Look, on every level of security, every level, whether it's domestic, whether it's foreign threats, on every single level, Trump went after all the people that are there to keep us safe and get rid of them. They celebrated it. And The firing of the head of the FBI in Utah was the price that people had to pay in Utah 2 weeks before this shooting. You see, so it's like if you fire all these people, why? What do you expect? That things become safer? That more acts aren't committed successfully? Is that what you expect when you fire the very people that's supposed to stop it and deter it in advance? I mean, it just makes no sense. You can't have your cake. You can't have your, well, in this case, you can have your cake and eat it too. You want your guns, you can eat it too. But that's what's happening. The dude wanted his guns and he got shot. I mean, he didn't care about even kids being shot. He just thought that is a necessary evil for everyone else to keep their gun rights. That's literally what he thought. That's the worst. That is literally saying, I don't care about your life. And now he's shot. I mean, anyway, we could go on and on because, like I said, MAGA people don't care about facts. So you could bring out all the quotes of the experts, career experts, tell you that Trump is what his goals were to attack the security apparatus of the United States of America. That was his goal. That's what they believed he was going to do. And he has done it. He has done it. And they know he has done it. And they clapped for it when he did it. And they supported it. There's people that supported it and there's people that didn't. The Supreme Court supported it. The Congress supported it. And the people that voted for Trump supported it. And this is what you are getting. This is Trump's world. And believe it or not, you're about to get some more. You are about to get some more Trump world. Every single day you wake up, that air you breathe in, no matter how dirty it is Trump air. Your wage, every time you go into the store and you buy an item, that price you're paying is that Trump price. That price you're paying is that Trump price. That price for your health care, if you so happen to get in an accident or your child, that price you pay for that is that Trump price. That's what you're going to get. And if some other foreign nation attacks the United States of America, that will be on Trump's watch. The last time it happened was on a Republican's watch. That was called 9/11. That was George W. Bush. Think it can't happen. Think it can't happen. George Bush thought Putin was his friend also when 9/11 happened. Just in case people forgot, George Bush literally thought Putin was his friend when 9/11 happened. Just keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. But let's continue. Now, they have more news. Obviously, there's loads of news coming out about this guy. As a matter of fact, let's just get right to it. There are updates, and let's take a listen.
But Andrew Weissman, let me go first to you with your experience.
Bombing case where you have this outreach to the public and the dissemination of information. It was striking to me that that was essentially the purpose of the press conference, was to get that out there to the public so that anybody with information about what he looks like, his T-shirt, his cap, his shoes, his backpack, all of that is something that they're looking for leads. And that obviously is something that the public can and should do. I did want to make a reference to something that people might not know about, because there's been a lot of reporting about having found the gun. And I want to make sure people understand in this country, it can be very, very difficult to trace a gun to a perpetrator. Unlike a car, where when you have a car, we can soup to nuts when it came off the lot, and every single owner, very difficult to trace a gun to anybody with information about what he looks like, his T-shirt, his cap, his shoes, his backpack. All of that is something that they're looking for leads, and that obviously is something that the public can and should do. I did want to make a reference to something that people might not know about, because there's been a lot of reporting about having found the gun. And I want to make sure people understand in this country, it can be very, very difficult to trace a gun to a perpetrator. Unlike a car, where when you have a car, we can know from soup to nuts when it came off the lot and every single owner who had it. That is prohibited in this country. So you can have...
For guns, it's prohibited.
So you hear that? The law in the United States prohibits knowing certain things about how you get a gun, who you buy it from, these kind of things. Let's play it back. Again, this could easily be changed. Does it help the person who assassinated Charlie Kirk, or does it hurt him, these laws? That's the question. That's the simple question. That would be the rational question. But of course, MAGA people are going to ask the irrational question. They're going to go with culture. They're going to be happy that, hey, it's pretty easy to just assassinate people. That's pretty easy because of the gun laws. That's a great thing. They're going to continue to go down that path and only show some sort of dissent from that when it's one of them that is getting killed. That's all you're going to see. They have no empathy when it happens to someone else, especially anyone that believes guns should not be as easy to get. And if you do buy them, it should be easy to trace. Those people, specifically MAGA folk, have no empathy for. Period.
And I want to make sure people understand his T-shirt, his cap, his shoes, his backpack, all of that is something that they're looking for leads. And that obviously is something that the public can and should do.
Yeah. Kash Patel. Exactly, Quantum. Kash Patel fired all the Negroes, fired all the gays, got rid of all the women. And what's left? Their biggest mouthpiece gets executed. They can't save the biggest mouthpiece. I mean, it's just pure utter incompetence. It's pure utter ignorance. It's pure stupidity. But again, this is what they go for. They are hard-headed and they will continue. So you may as well just understand, whatever the plan is, plan for them to continue just in the same hard-headed fashion.
I did want to make a reference to something that people might not know about, because there's been a lot of reporting about having found the gun. And I want to make sure people understand in this country, it can be very, very difficult to trace a gun to a perpetrator. Unlike a car, where when you have a car, we can know from soup to nuts when it came off the lot and every single owner who had it. That is prohibited in this country. So you can have...
Prohibited means the voters, right? Particularly Republicans, they fight gun legislation reform. And these are some of the things they fight. Accountability. So again, the question is this. Do those laws make it easier for a person to commit an act like this and get away with it, or harder for a person to commit an act like this and get away with it? You let me know what you think.
For guns, it's prohibited.
For guns, it is prohibited. You can figure out when the gun was manufactured, but it is very hit and miss if you can trace who has owned it. There are all sorts of loopholes. And so just having found the gun, it obviously can be useful. There can be information there. But it is not the case that there is a record in the same way that you would have for the VIN, the vehicle identification number, for a car, where you know exactly from person to person to person. So I just want to make sure people understand, because of the laws in this country, this investigation or investigations like it don't have necessarily the tools that you might have in other countries to do that kind of tracing.
Kendall, we're continuing
It's very
to run.
simple. The tools you might have in other countries to do that type of tracing. And of course, to a MAGA person, in their brain, what they instantly go to is, who are you to tell us what to do? We do everything better, so we don't have to listen to you. That's exactly where their brain goes when they hear an idea like that other countries, it's easier to trace weapons. In their brain, they don't even think about what you just said. In their brain, they just think, hey, because you said it, F you. That's how simple
The
minded they
video
are.
that was just released, which in effect was the entire purpose of this press briefing, was really just to release this video that they have been obviously has been in their possession for quite a while. They were ready to do this apparently much earlier in the day today.
You hear this? So the story is they waited around all day to release the information to the public because they were waiting for Kash Patel to show up, who they know had already told them he's on his way. So they were waiting for him, and he took all goddamn day, essentially. You see, that's what it is. They were waiting on him. Kash Patel took all day. So all that time, that information didn't go out. But in any case,
Today, any indication of why this was delayed so long, given, as Andrew says, they wanted to get this information out to the public. They've had it for quite a while. Public could have seen this many, many, many hours ago.
That's right, Lawrence. Well, one reason was stated fairly explicitly by Utah officials hours ago, which is that they were waiting for Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Dan Bongino, his deputy, to land in the FBI jet so that they could attend this news conference, and where they didn't speak and they stood in the background. And there's also, it's a bit perplexing because they did say earlier in the day that they were going to have a briefing at around 2:45 p.m. and then they canceled that, citing rapid developments in the case.
I mean, listen, I got to tell you this. Right here, when I look at this image, though, particularly, that's a lot of space for him to run. And the mere fact that you had security on that place and they couldn't catch him, that is pathetic. I'm just going to say that right out, because this guy has to go a lot of distance. And that distance he had to go after a man was just bleeding on stage to death. Once they saw that he was shot, just picking up the radio and informing people, everyone should have been on call already for a situation like that around the campus. There should have been people there to capture this dude right there. I'm just saying, I find that very funny, very interesting. You know, I just do. I don't understand it. In fact, the gun, as I understand it, as I've been told, the gun laws were even on the university were lessened. You know, the restrictions were brought down again. So actually, it's not even illegal. Correct me if I'm wrong, on this university, I don't even think it was illegal to even bring a weapon on it. You see what I mean? Like, and that's also kind of weird, because that means it makes it harder to defend the place. I don't know. And again, these gun people in the United States of America, their theory that they think is rational, which shows how ignorant they are. Their theory is more guns makes the place safer. You can protect guns with guns. That's literally their theory. You can stop a mass shooter with a gun. I mean, Charlie Kirk didn't think that, but most of them think that. You know, they think that it's rational to just say, you know what, people getting shot of mass shooters and all of this stuff, all the gun violence, it's just the price we have to pay to keep the Second Amendment, as in it's worth it, as if the rationale, it works out. No, what you have is a society where a bunch of people are afraid of getting shot. You have a society that's like the Wild Wild West, just because you have guns proliferated everywhere. Legal ones and illegal ones. And of course, all the illegal ones were legal at first. You know, it's the legal owners that somehow guns get out to everybody else into the illegal hands. They start off legal and then they turn illegal. I mean, so I'm just curious. To me, when I see this guy run off of that bridge, shot, how many minutes did that take? That took about what? Did it take about a minute for him to shoot and get over here? To me, it seems like you would have already had security over there. There's no security anywhere near here that saw this guy running. None of them heard something like a shot. What's his name is down. He's shot. And nobody could look around and see a guy running like that and say, that's suspicious. We better go stop him. Nope. Not one person. You didn't hear one person tell anybody that they even stopped him and asked him questions and just thought, oh, nah, fuck it. He's just a regular student. He never even got stopped. He didn't even get stopped.
Which led a lot of people to think that they were closing in on a suspect. But then you had Bo Mason, the head of the Utah Department of Public Safety, tell NBC's Morgan Chesky tonight that they have no idea. He used those words. We have no idea the identity or the location of the suspect. Don't know whether the suspect is still in the area or has fled hundreds of miles away. And that's not a failure. I mean, these are difficult investigations. Andrew cited the Boston Marathon bombing. You can also think about the Luigi Mangione case. It took them 5 days to arrest Mangione, and only after help from the public, after a McDonald's worker spotted him based on a photo. And that's exactly what they're hoping for in this case. Unfortunately, the photos of his face are not terribly clear. But it just does show that despite all the video evidence they've collected, all the presumably the cell phone location evidence they've gotten, and the tips they've gotten from the public, they really don't seem to have made much progress in figuring out who this person is and where they are. I mean, when law enforcement agents start to just telling you the number of interviews they've done and how many agencies are responding, they don't really have very much to say of substance.
Okay.
And how many agencies are responding. They don't really have very much to say of substance. And I wanted to make one other point, Lawrence, which is the governor said very clearly, the governor of Utah, that Russia and China are spreading disinformation about this situation, which they often do in mass shootings and other kinds of instances of controversy and mass violence in the United States. The thing that the public needs to know about that is that this Justice Department and this FBI disbanded the Foreign Influence Task that influence and to investigate it and then to counter it.
Every once in a while, not every once in a while, every time I go live, there's somebody that comes here, many people that are questioning what I'm saying. Some person says some of it's disinformation. Some people, this is that people are. They're idiotic. And believe it or not, some conspiracies are real. Believe it or not. It's just a matter of your intelligence figuring out the ones that are real and the ones that are not. Some of y'all think Hillary Clinton was drinking baby blood on Epstein Island. I think you might have missed something there. That might not have been the real conspiracy. You could be close, but close doesn't cut it doesn't cut it. That doesn't work. It's either a real conspiracy down in the USA. That is what he literally said. And MAGA people cheered him on the entire way. First of all, why would you do that and expect that you're not more at risk? Who does that? So for me, you could tell me whatever you want about Trump, you think. For me, he's tied at the hip with Putin. So in my mind, whatever he does, cutting down security in the U.S., it's because Putin wants him to. In my mind, everything he's dealing with Ukraine is because Putin wants him to. The Middle East, because Putin wants him to. Anything he's doing is pretty much what Putin would want him to. And Putin's going to help him. Putin is going to help him continue because Putin was scared shitless of Biden and scared shitless of Kamala Harris. Scared shitless that they would give a whopping load of more weapons to the Ukraine and more assistance, maybe intelligence, maybe other things. They were doing that. So Putin was obviously very scared of that. So You know, there was no qualms. Him and Trump have an excellent history together, just like the history with Epstein. The same. They got a long history together. Trump was over there, having a beauty pageant and all types of shit. Miss Universe or whatever the hell in Russia. You see what I mean? Like all of this stuff is tied in together. So he cuts the security apparatus. Everyone hears it. Everyone understands that's what he's talking about. Even his critics. The people that applauded Trump for doing it understood it very well because they were consistently supporting it. Trump's critics understood what he was doing was horrible, and they were consistently against it and spoke about it in the public. So if you do that, why would you think things would be safer? That thought makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't matter who got shot. If you think Trump made things safer, if you think Trump made it harder for someone to get shot, you out your damn mind. Trump made it easier for somebody to get shot and some more people. Flat out. That's the whole point. That's what the experts were saying. The people that Trump fired. So I don't know what y'all MAGA people crying about. I really don't.
The U.S. government is not doing that mission anymore, in part because Donald Trump didn't like the things they did about Russia, apparently. So it's really rather remarkable to see that governor of Utah lament the fact that our foreign adversaries are trying to exploit this situation while the FBI director is standing behind him, knowing that they have done away with the task forces.
They are going to exploit. Not only are they trying to exploit, they will exploit. There is no question about it. They will exploit. And you don't even know if this dude who shot Charlie Kirk is one of their exploitations. You don't actually know because they haven't caught anyone yet.
Forces that whose job was to attack that problem.
Joined now by Jim Kavanaugh, former ATF special agent in charge. Jim, what did you
Well, I think the only thing that they told us new was the head of the troopers.
Okay, I'm back.
Us the video of the killer egressing the roof, dropping down, looked like he had a rifle in a bag, hustles across the green there and then starts walking across the road and then dumps the rifle in the wooded area. So we'd never seen that video. And then, of course, the still pictures, Lawrence, that are on the staircase, they're pretty good, but it seems to me, I can't tell from what they said. Is that from a video? If you have a video of that, release the video, because if you don't know who this guy is, we'd never seen that video. And then, of course, the still pictures, Lawrence, that are on the staircase, they're pretty good, but it seems to me, I can't tell from what they said. Is that from a video? If you have a video of that, release the video, because if you don't know who this guy is, you really need the help. Or if you have have better still pictures of his face coming up that stairwell. Get those out too. At this point, it's not going to hurt you to release more video and more stills. Just get it all out there. I think one thing we got to contend with, and the commanders need to contend with, this guy may not be local to, Orem, Utah. He could very well be a traveler who stalked Mr. Kirk, come from far, another state or something to do this. He doesn't have to be a local person, so he could very well have traveled.
We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible, so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now. Show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video, and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, thank you, Edward. Let me know, do you all think that, do you have more confidence in Kash Patel than you have in James Comey? Do you believe that Kash Patel is a better FBI head than James Comey? If you believe Kash Patel is a more competent leader of the FBI than James Comey, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't, put a 2 in the chat. I'm curious. I'm going with a 2. I definitely believe Kash Patel is utterly incompetent and possibly a patsy for some other crimes to come. The idea is you put stupid people in power, and they're so stupid that they will miss a crime that's right in their face, type of thing. I believe that of Kash Patel, but I'm curious. Maybe there's some other people that think that he's worth it or that he's better, And if you don't, when the video's over, make sure you put your comments in the comment section. I'm interested in reading these things. Okay. F. Tofta says unqualified. Matthew says unqualified. I have 0. Yeah, Bits, you have 0 confidence. Yeah, sorry about the little glitch in the audio. When I came back in, I didn't realize the mute button was still on. But do you all think more violence is going to come from this? Do you think that there's just going to be a spin of violent incidents, shooting, different assassination attacks, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's going to happen now, or do you think things will kind of die down? I'm more worried about the foreign threat. I'm going to be honest with you. I do take MAGA seriously as a threat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit, Bits. Thank you. Wow. Okay, wow. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate you, too, because it's not out here saying these things. It's not easy to out here, on YouTube and saying your opinion, for anybody. So, but I have to say it because I myself believe that the country is in danger. I believe the U.S. is in danger, more so from a foreign threat. And I believe that the Trump administration walked in a foreign threat right into the United States of America. And I believe there is a plot going on right now. I don't know if this shooting has something to do with it or not. But I definitely believe the U.S. is not safer with Trump in office, with Kash Patel, head of the FBI, or any of these cronies. I believe the American people made a serious mistake in electing Donald Trump. And I mean, serious, like serious to their life. Like, you're going to feel this. You're going to feel this, not like a little inconvenience, like something possibly life altering for a lot of people. And yeah, so I really hope the American people do what they got to do to get rid of his ass. And no matter what it is, and that's how I feel about it. Like, everybody knows you can use the disinformation on the left all you want and try to gaslight the left, but the left knows who has been violent towards them, who has stoked violence for years, who's behind a lot of these mass shootings. We know that. The history is all out there, you see. And, just because you have a president that's a crook and can twist the media's arm and twist a few people's arms, the Supreme Court arm, doesn't mean you're going to change reality on the left. We know what the issues are and where we have to go. So either way, I'm cool with it. I think the country's got to turn a page, but without some changes, the country is not going to turn the page for the positive, So and I think it's headed in the wrong direction right now. So I'm like, whew. Let me see here. The only positive thing about Kash is how hilariously terrified he looks every time he has to do anything because he knows he's unqualified. Exactly. Whew. That's what he looks like to me. Like, why does a guy look so terrified? Is it terrified or is it terrified of something? To me, he looks goddamn terrified and guilty. Like, he already knows he did something wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is yet, but he definitely looks like he doesn't trust himself in that job, Okay, let me see. Honestly, I think it's waiting game to see if the Civil War or WW will first. First, I agree with you, beliefs about what is going on. But like you said, it's scary to speak publicly. Yeah, it is scary. It's definitely scary. I'm lucky because I'm in Denmark. So, but I'm gonna tell you, Bits. I mean, this for me, if I was in the U.S., I would be speaking my mind the same way. Like, that's the type of person I am. Like, certain things I don't sit down for. I don't stand for certain things. Like, and because there are things out there, you have to stand on something as a human being. That's what community is all about. That's what gives hope for community. That people stand on something, that we have some principles, underlying principles that we uphold, and not that we can't get better at that, and not that we shouldn't get better at it, but these are times where people got to speak up, and without fear, people have to speak up and do something. Like Michelle Obama said, do something. It's easier to criticize people to do, but do something also. So. Yeah. Edward says, when the shit turns around, there needs to be a Nuremberg trial style prosecution for the people that were involved, for the people that set it all up, and I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? For the people that set up January 6th? Yeah, there was a trial. They got a pardon, and, for me, it's like capping for a pedophile's buddy, or a possible pedophile. You should be embarrassed. I hope you're not supporting Trump, because Trump he's quite possibly a pedophile. You see what I mean? So, his best friend is the most prolific pedophile and sex trafficker, or would be best friend, was at one time best friend. That's embarrassing. You should stay away from a person like that. You should never make excuses for a person like that, ever. That means you don't value your own life. You don't have any pride, man. Come on. Come on, Eric. Goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go that low. You don't have to go that low, man. Damn. That's what his bitch says. He looks like he's been up there 3 days, Bender. You know what I'm saying? You know? He just looks like he is above. He's totally, it's true. He's totally underwater with this. You know what I'm saying? He's sinking and just trying to stay afloat. And, you know, everyone's carrying him along, being the professionals on the state level. Man, I can't wait till they just diss his fucking ass. Come on. He doesn't deserve that respect. He doesn't deserve that respect. You know, people just need to call it like it is. You know, that's why I'm doing it, because, hey, I do have limits, you know, and if this guy have the nerve to be the head of the FBI with zero experience, then shit, you know, and he's a first generation American. And he's like, he's just happy to be a dumbass on the global stage. You know, it's like, what the fuck? You know, I didn't know we had arrogant people like this. Like, I just didn't know. It never occurred to me that a person could be such a opportunist like Kash Patel, because government is serious. Government, people's lives are in your hand. And if you don't have integrity, you should not be in government. And this dude took that job. He knows damn well he should have said no to the job. He should have said no. He knows that in his heart. Oh, voices, but yeah. Oh my God. It's easy to say the U.S. citizenry isn't doing anything, but people are showing up. But it's not as effective in a huge country. Man, a lot of people are doing a lot of things in the U.S. though. People are hitting the streets. That is the people. I'm proud of the people hitting the streets. I'm proud of Americans. Like, I'm proud of the left. I'm gonna tell you something. I've never been more proud of being a person on the left ever in my life. I've never been more proud, because the left stands up for freedom. It's just that we stand up for freedom, basic freedom, basic freedom. If we can't agree on basic freedom, we are in some serious trouble. And without the left, there would be no freedom in the U.S. There would be no freedom without the left. Like, straight up, that is what it is. And so I'm more proud than ever. And, you know, I hope all of you all that are on the left are proud also. And I know a lot of us are, because that's what you have to take with you when you hit the streets. That's what you have to take with you when you fight these things in the courts. That's what you have to take with you, you know, to do any of this fighting back. Yo, so I'm more proud than ever. And think about this. Every Western nation is on the left side in the United States of America right now. Every Western nation supports the left. They know that we are the ones fighting for America and our civilization. They know that. They know that. They know that. So I don't know what MAGA's thinking, but nobody likes you, you know, and yeah, nobody likes you, and that's not a good place to be. And people are going to get tired of you, you know. So do whatever you can do to get the hell out of there, like, because I don't want things to get ugly myself, but I see and I believe Trump wants to make things ugly himself. So, you know, hey, what are the rest of us going to do? We got to try to do whatever we can do to survive in the meantime. But on that note, I'm out. I appreciate everybody. I'll be back later on today. I'm off. I got 3 days free, so I'm going to be chopping it up with everybody and keeping the updates coming. But yo, let me ask you this last question. How is it going to be 1 day, 2 day, 3 days before they catch this guy? Or do you believe they're not going to catch the guy at all? Let me know what you think. I don't think they're going to catch him. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm not the type of person that carries on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So what? It doesn't make a difference if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? It's just a guess. But personally, me, I don't think they're going to catch this guy. I don't think they're going to catch him. And but if you do think they're going to catch him, how many days do you think it's going to take? Do you think it's going to take one more day, two days total? Like, will they catch him today? Will it be 3 days? Will it be 4 days? Will it be a week? Let me know how long you think it will be, or if you think they will catch him at all. Maybe you don't think they will catch him. And I'll catch up with y'all later. One. And until then, release the Epstein files.
They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every crew. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a dead old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack, and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't fear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguise is religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war. All they really